In the heart of the wild, where vast landscapes thrive, and open skies stretch endlessly. A timeless saga unfolds across diverse ecosystems. Here, nature's warriors, creatures equipped with horns and antlers, stand as symbols of strength, resilience, and survival. The white rhinoceros roams Africa's sprawling savannas, its massive horn a testament to its enduring presence. In Europe's towering Alps, the ibex navigates steep cliffs with agile grace, its curved horns suited for balance and defense. Across Alaska's dense forests, the moose strides through ancient woodlands, its broad antlers commanding the landscape. In America's rugged Rockies, the bighorns for survival in harsh terrain. The bighorn sheep scales rocky heights, its thick horns built for survival in harsh terrain. Each species carries a unique crown, shaped by evolution to protect and persist in their distinct habitats. These horned and antlered creatures are vital to their environments. Maintaining balance in the ecosystems they inhabit. Rhinos graze grasslands, fostering plant diversity. Ibex clear paths through alpine slopes, aiding other species. Moose shape forest undergrowth, supporting wildlife. Bighorn sheep influence mountain vegetation, preserving fragile habitats. Their horns and antlers made of critical rope. Yet challenges like habitat loss, climate shifts and human activity threaten their existence across savannas, mountains, forests and cliffs. Conservation efforts strive to protect these remarkable animals, ensuring their legacy endures. This journey reveals the beauty and diversity of nature. Where each species contributes to a vibrant, interconnected world, fighting to survive. In the vast Serengeti of Tanzania, The white rhinoceros stands as a powerful symbol among wild animals. Commanding the grasslands with unmatched strength. Kibo, a male white rhinoceros in his prime, weighs nearly 4,000 pounds. His horns stretching over 39 inches long. Named Hope in Swahili, Kibo embodies the resilience of a species that has roamed these plains for thousands of years. Unlike the black rhino, which browses on shrubs, Kibo is a grazer, his wide mouth perfectly adapted to crop the short grasses that sustain the savanna's delicate ecosystem. Through his grazing, Kibo maintains the grasslands, preventing overgrowth and ensuring a balanced habitat for smaller wild animals like antelopes and birds. His role is vital in any wild animal documentary. Showcasing how such creatures shape their environment. Kibo is the guardian of his herd. A leader whose strength and vigilance protect his family. His herd includes females and their calves, who rely on him for safety. Kibo's horn, made of keratin like human fingernails, serves as both a weapon and a shield. He uses it to fend off predators such as hyenas or lions, ensuring the calves can grow under the watchful eyes of their mothers. His presence fosters a tight-knit family structure. With Kibo leading the group through the savannah, clearing paths through dense vegetation. These paths benefit other wild animals, allowing easier movement and access to resources. Kibo's pride as a leader shines through in his unwavering commitment to his herd. Despite his strength, Kibo faces threats from poachers who invade the Serengeti, driven by the illegal demand for rhino horn. With fewer than 18,000 white rhinos left, these intruders endanger Kibo's species, targeting the very horn that defines his role as protector. His life, a blend of pride, family devotion, and ecological importance. Kabu's story is one of quiet strength, a testament to the enduring spirit of wild animals fighting to survive in a changing world. Inspiring older audiences who value tales of courage and perseverance. From the sun-drenched savannas, another warrior carves out a life in a world of stone and ice. High in Europe's Alps, the ibex defies gravity. Navigating cliffs so steep they seem impossible. With horns that curve backward in a graceful arc, reaching up to a meter long. These agile creatures are the acrobats of the mountains. Their hooves, split and flexible, grip the rock like natural climbing shoes. Allowing them to ascend where predators dare not follow. The ibex's horns are tools of survival. Used to fend off rivals in dramatic clashes that reverberate through the valleys. These battles, fought on precarious ledges, determine dominance and the right to lead the herd. Like the white rhinoceros, the ibex is a guardian of its domain, ensuring the survival of its kin in an unforgiving landscape. But also like Kibo, the ibex faces threats that its horns cannot repel. Climate change melts the glaciers that once provided water. Shrinking the alpine meadows where ibex graze. Human encroachment on tourism, roads and ski resorts further erodes their habitat. The struggles of the ibex and the rhinoceros are not isolated. Across the globe, horned warriors face a common enemy. A world reshaped by human hands. Poaching, habitat loss, and climate change form a triad of threats that test their resilience. In Africa, the white rhinoceros dodges bullets and snares. In the Alps, the ibex contends with vanishing snows. And in other corners of the wild, more warriors fight their own battles. United by the horns and antlers that define them. In the forests of the north, another warrior awaits, a giant whose antlers span the canopy. In the vast wilderness of Alaska, the moose stands as the largest wild animal in the deer family. Commanding the boreal forests with unmatched presence. A bull moose can reach 7 feet tall at the shoulder, weighing up to 1,600 pounds. With antlers spanning 6 feet wide. These antlers, regrown each year, are a remarkable feature. In spring, they emerge covered in velvet. Supplying blood to fuel their growth, and by autumn, they harden into bone, serving as both weapons and symbols of dominance. Used in clashes with rival bulls during mating season, these antlers establish leadership in the quiet glades of spruce and birch. The moose typically lives a solitary life, roaming vast areas of forest in search of food like willow, birch, and aquatic plants found in rivers and bogs. Despite its massive size, it moves with surprising ease, wading through water or navigating dense woodlands. Its diet supports the forest ecosystem, as grazing prevents overgrowth of certain plants, benefiting smaller wild animals. However, the moose faces significant challenges. Wildfires, intensified by rising temperatures due to climate change, burn through Alaska's forests, destroying critical food sources. Logging operations reduce habitat, clearing swaths of trees and fragmenting the moose's range. Predators like wolves and grizzly bears prey on calves or weakened adults, testing the moose's strength and vigilance. The moose's antlers shed each winter and regrown by summer. Embody its remarkable ability to renew itself, a trait that resonates with those who admire nature's resilience. This cycle of regeneration offers hope, showing that even after loss, recovery is possible. Yet the moose's future is uncertain. Climate change disrupts the boreal forest's balance. Warming temperatures alter plant growth, and shrinking wetlands limit food availability. These threats mirror those faced by other horned wild animals. Like the white rhinoceros battling poachers on African plains, or the ibex navigating shrinking alpine meadows. If the rhinoceros relies on brute strength, and the ibex on agility, the moose endures through its ability to adapt and regenerate. Finding new feeding grounds or surviving harsh winters. Conservation efforts provide a lifeline. Protected areas in Alaska, such as Denali National Park, safeguard moose habitats, while reforestation and fire management programs aim to restore burned forests. These initiatives, often highlighted in a wild animal documentary, fuel hope for the moose's survival. The moose's story, its towering strength, solitary grace, and annual renewal of antlers evokes awe and respect. It stands as a testament to nature's enduring power. Facing a changing world with resilience. Much like the bighorn sheep in the Rockies, or the ibex in the Alps. All united in their fight to persist against mounting challenges. In the rugged Rocky Mountains of North America, the bighorn sheep stands as a powerful wild animal, dominating its rocky domain. Adult rams weighing up to 300 pounds carry massive horns that can weigh 30 pounds more than the rest of their skeleton combined. These horns are tools for intense head-to-head clashes. Battles that echo across the peaks as rams compete for leadership and mating rights. Conclusions showcase the raw strength and excitement of these contests. The bighorn's life demands precision. Its cloven hooves allow it to navigate steep cliffs and narrow ledges. Covering slopes at elevations up to 12,000 feet. The Rockies, shaped by ancient glaciers, provide both shelter and challenges. Harsh winters with temperatures dropping below zero force bighorns to seek sparse grasses and shrubs. Predators like cougars and eagles target lambs or weakened adults, adding to the daily struggle. Yet, the greatest threats come from human activity. Mining operations disrupt habitats, carving into the mountains and fragmenting the bighorn's range. Diseases from domestic sheep, such as pneumonia, spread rapidly, wiping out entire herds in weeks. These challenges test the bighorn's resilience. But its ability to endure sparks excitement and admiration. Like the white rhinoceros ruling the savannah with strength, the ibex mastering cliffs with agility, or the moose commanding northern forests, the bighorn holds its ground through sheer tenacity. Its horns symbolize an unbreakable spirit, forged through centuries of survival in a harsh landscape. Conservation efforts have fueled hope, with reintroduction programs boosting populations in areas like Colorado and Wyoming. Protected habitats and disease management initiatives help ensure the bighorn's survival. Allowing herds to reclaim territories lost to human encroachment. These efforts highlight the bighorn's ability to adapt. Whether finding new grazing grounds or evading predators. Its battles both against rivals and a changing environment reflect the struggles of horned wild animals worldwide. From poaching threats to rhinos in Africa, to habitat loss for ibex in the Alps, these species face a common fight against human-driven changes. The bighorn's enduring presence in the Rockies charging into clashes with unwavering resolve embodies a spirit that refuses to yield. Inspiring awe and excitement for its relentless fight to survive. In the windswept highlands of Scotland, where ancient mists weave through rugged glens, the red deer reigns as a timeless emblem of majesty. Its antlers, a sprawling crown stretching up to 4 feet wide, are reborn each spring in a miraculous cycle of renewal, as if sculpted by the hands of nature itself. During the rut, the stag's roar, a primal, haunting bellow, resounds across the heather-clad hills, heralding fierce battles where only the mightiest claim their mates. This spectacle, set against craggy peaks and rolling moors, evokes the grandeur of a land steeped in history, where clans once clashed and legends were forged. The red deer's realm is a tapestry of heather, stone and sky, shaped by centuries of uneasy coexistence with humankind. Yet, this harmony frays under modern pressures. Agricultural sprawl has devoured vast tracts of the highlands, shrinking the deer's grazing lands to mere fragments of their former expanse. Once a revered tradition, overhunting now imperils deer populations in pockets of this storied landscape. The antlers, coveted as trophies and traded in shadowy markets, cast a long shadow over the species' survival. Each fallen stag is a wound to the soul of the highlands, a reminder of what may be lost to greed and neglect. Yet the red deer endures. Its antlers through the horizon like a beacon of defiance. Conservation efforts born of a deep love for Scotland's wild heart. Strive to restore balance. Protected reserves and careful land management offer hope. Ensuring the stag's roar will echo for generations. Like the bighorn sheep scaling North America's jagged peaks, the red deer's struggle is a saga of resilience, a testament to nature's unyielding spirit. In their hoofprints, we see a shared fight to preserve the untamed beauty of our world. A call to honor the past and safeguard the future. As the stag stands tall against the highland winds, it embodies a legacy as enduring as the mountains themselves. A symbol of hope for all who cherish the wild. On Africa's vast plains, the Cape buffalo stands as a symbol of raw power among wild animals. Known as one of the Big Five, this massive creature, weighing up to 2,000 pounds, has broad, curved horns that span 3 feet, forming a shield across its forehead. In herds numbering hundreds, Cape buffalo confront predators like lions and hyenas. Their unified strength overwhelming even the fiercest attackers. A single charge from a buffalo can crush bones. Its horns are a lethal weapon in close combat. These tense standoffs, often captured in a wild animal documentary, reveal the brutal reality of survival in the savannah. However, the Cape buffalo faces growing threats. Poaching for bushmeat reduces herd sizes, with illegal hunters striking under cover of night. Conflicts with farmers escalate as buffalo trample crops during migrations. Leading to lethal retaliations. Droughts, worsened by climate change, dry up rivers and grasslands, leaving herds starving. This struggle mirrors the challenges faced by other wild animals. In Scotland, red deer lose grazing lands to farms. In the Rockies, bighorn sheep navigate mined peaks. In Alaska, moose flee forest fires. In the Alps, ibex face shrinking habitats from melting snows. And in the Serengeti, white rhinos are hunted for their horn. The advance of human activity threatens these wild animals across continents. In Africa, poachers target buffalo and rhinos for profit. In Europe, urban expansion crowds ibex habitats. In North America, industrial projects disrupt bighorn and moose territories. In Scotland, agricultural growth confines red deer. Each confrontation, whether with poachers' rifles, farmers' traps, or shrinking ecosystems, pushes these species closer to the edge. The tension is palpable, as each loss weakens the balance of the wild. Yet, hope emerges through conservation efforts. In Africa, rangers use GPS to track buffalo and rhinos, patrolling savannas to deter poachers. In Europe, protected reserves safeguard ibex populations. In North America, reintroduction programs restore bighorn sheep to their ranges, while reforestation supports moose habitats. In Scotland, sustainable land practices preserve red deer grazing grounds. These initiatives, driven by dedicated conservationists, offer a lifeline. The sight of rangers monitoring herds, biologists planting trees, and communities protecting reserves signals a turning point. The fight for wild animals continues, but their enduring spirit, backed by human resolve, promises a future where they can thrive. In the Serengeti, Kaibo, a white rhinoceros, symbolizes hope and joy. Once nearly extinct, white rhinos are recovering due to dedicated conservation efforts. Protected areas, reinforced by anti-poaching patrols and international funding, have stabilized populations of these wild animals. A calf now walks beside its mother, a sign of progress. Kaibo, a resilient veteran, shows what's possible when humanity protects wild animals instead of exploiting them. Conservation programs have driven this recovery. Safe horn removal reduces poaching incentives, safeguarding rhinos. Education campaigns dispel myths fueling the black market for horns. African communities increasingly value living rhinos for their ecological role and ecotourism potential. Securing a brighter future for Kaibo's species and other wild animals in their habitat. These efforts extend beyond rhinos, promoting broader appreciation for protecting wild animals. Conservation strategies encourage sustainable practices that benefit ecosystems. Organizations work with communities, providing training and resources to support livelihoods aligned with conservation. This collaboration inspires hope for other endangered species. Bible story gains global reach through Wild Animal Documentary. These films showcase conservationists' tireless work and the resilience of wild animals. Raising awareness and encouraging support for preservation. By highlighting rhinos' strength, documentaries foster a sense of responsibility among viewers worldwide. The future looks promising thanks to these efforts. Kibo's presence in the Serengeti, alongside thriving wild animal populations, proves conservation can reverse decline and restore balance. The progress made brings hope and joy. Marking a new era for wildlife preservation. High in the Alps, the ibex thrives once more. A testament to the power of conservation and rebirth that inspires older generations. Nearly extinct decades ago, this wild animal has been brought back through dedicated reintroduction programs and protected reserves. Conservationists have restored meadows, ensuring a steady food supply for the ibex population. Careful monitoring and anti-poaching measures have kept threats at bay, allowing these animals to flourish. A baby ibex, born under these efforts, leaps beside its mother. A clear sign of renewal and a reminder that thoughtful human intervention can restore balance to nature. In Alaska, the moose also benefit from similar efforts, offering hope for wild animals in vast northern landscapes. Reforestation projects have rebuilt forests devastated by wildfires, creating new grazing grounds for moose. These initiatives, led by conservationists, involve planting trees and studying migration patterns to support healthy populations. The moose's antlers, regrown each spring, reflect the forest's gradual recovery. And the resilience of nature. These efforts ensure that moose continue to roam their habitats. a symbol of successful conservation for older audiences who value the enduring strength of the natural world. These stories of the ibex and moose echo the white rhinoceros's recovery in the Serengeti, showing that wild animals can thrive when given a chance. Conservation programs across the globe demonstrate that nature, with human support, has the capacity to heal. The ibex's return to the Alps and the moose's resurgence in Alaska highlight the importance of sustained efforts. From habitat restoration to population monitoring. These initiatives resonate with older generations. Who have witnessed environmental challenges over decades and find inspiration in tangible progress. Wild Animal Documentary further amplify these stories. Showcasing the ibex and moose to global audiences. These films detail the work of conservationists, emphasizing the rebirth of ecosystems and species. The ibex and moose, thriving in their restored habitats, prove that conservation efforts can yield lasting results. Offering a hopeful vision of renewal that speaks to the wisdom and optimism of age. In the Rockies, bighorn sheep populations are rebounding, inspiring hope and responsibility. Once reduced by disease and habitat loss, these wild animals have been revived through reintroduction programs led by American conservationists. Protected parks safeguard bighorns from mining threats, while vaccination programs prevent lethal infections. A lamb born in these restored mountains moves across the rocks, demonstrating the success of human efforts to protect wild animals. The horned warriors, rhinoceros, ibex, moose and bighorn sheep are powerful symbols of a world worth saving. These wild animals, with their horns and antlers shaped over millennia, represent strength, struggle, and hope. From the Serengeti's plains to the Rockies' peaks, their survival stories are interconnected, each facing threats like poaching, habitat loss, and disease. Conservation efforts, including protected reserves, anti-poaching patrols, and reintroduction programs, have helped these species recover. Organizations like the World Wildlife Fund channel donations into patrols, habitat restoration, and education, ensuring wild animals thrive. Their work shows that collective action can secure a future for these creatures and their ecosystems. Everyone's support through donations or advocacy makes a difference. Join the fight to protect these horn warriors and the wild they represent. Together, we can ensure their legacy endures for generations. Subscribe to our channel to stay updated on conservation efforts.